60, 70 years ago, when you see the hillsides when my grandparents were here, there are hardly any trees on the hills, and the fire department got too good and the landowners got too good, and we suppress the fires, the lightning fires, as soon as they start, so it never gets cleaned out like Mother Nature intended it to. So it's just become thicker and thicker. I'm Stark Ickes. I'm the owner-operator of Ickes Ranch along with my wife and family. We are operating a ranch, a cow-calf operation, and we background some yearling cattle and run yearlings and sell bred heifers and beef cattle. NRCS helped us in this project because we were basically unarmed. We don't do that, but they had the maps and they could actually go out and pinpoint the forest areas on our places and put it all together with maps. And our local group worked together on different places to say, well, these are the worst places that you have, so we'll start there.
The Treasure County Conservation District held their local work group where anyone in the community is welcome to come in and kind of voice what they think their natural resource concerns are in the county. And that year, Stark and his neighbors took the initiative to come in and say, hey, these areas of thick juniper and pine tree are a fire hazard and no grass production, and we'd like to see something done about it. So Montana went to this focused conservation where we try and address a certain resource concern. So we wrote a targeted implementation plan to try and address these fuels reductions with tree thinning. The tree thinning, probably the main resource concern is Treasure County, and all around we're having these big fires. You know, just you can't get in there to fight them, and you can't stop them when they get into that thick stuff. And they have a tendency to burn so hot that they can kind of wreck the ground a little when they're that thick. So that was kind of the main resource concern about doing that. And then kind of the secondary one is, you know, these ranchers, the land around here is really expensive, and like where they've been doing the thinning, right after they do it, you can see there's next to no grass under it. And after walking through the site even a year after, there's grass up to your knees and looks great.
We've worked in this area for 15, 20 years. Last year was the first year that we've worked on Starks, and then this year we're doing a project as well. And you thin it out and get rid of some of the smaller trees and the bigger, older trees that are on their way out anyway. And just kind of leave that middle class. They don't have to compete for sunlight and water, and it really improves. You know, you can pick which trees you want left. It really does improve on forest health.
Before doing this thinning, the ground was so thick with these that you couldn't even get cows out of there or do anything. And you know, from a rancher's perspective, it's kind of worthless land because they're not making any money off of it. So after doing this thinning and looking at the grass that's knee high, and the rancher can kind of justify, you know, he's making some money off of it now, really makes it an improvement for him.
The cattle are grazing more, and the grasses that we desire are coming back rather than the ones that can merely survive in shaded pine needle laden areas that we're thinning. But one of the situations with the cattle, as you thin out the juniper and thin out the trees, it changes their behavior because there's no hiding spots. So it actually helps us with our day-to-day work with the cattle.
It was amazing to see how many grasses are coming, and then we looked at a site that hadn't been thinned, and it's kind of some annual forbs that aren't that useful to the producer. So it is exciting to see even how in 1 year the landscape's changed, and I assume it'll keep getting better and better as the years go on. You know, some of the neighbors were kind of scared to commit to a contract, and you know, that was understandable, and a couple of them just started to see how it would go. And that actually ended up being a really good deal because that first year we couldn't get a contractor in here to do the work. And so the second year came and we said, we're just not going to sign up any more acres till we get the stuff done that we were planning to get done. And luckily we had a great contractor come in. They did great work. NRCS was happy, producer was happy, contractor was happy. And from there you kind of got the ball rolling of the neighbors came and saw these projects, and now they're getting a lot more interest in doing it. So that's been nice to kind of build off of that. And then so this year we actually have over 600 acres planned to be thinned. So it's been nice to kind of see it building off of itself.
The projects like this, it's very important to have good people with the NRCS to work with. That's what makes these programs work, is having people like Jeff Bird kind of on the front helping us with projects and making sure everything is done the right way.
It would have been impossible for us to do it as individuals. When you're in a cattle operation or a farming operation, you can barely scrape by to buy the land the first time. And so it would have been impossible without the technical addition from the NRCS and the DNRC and the money from the federal government.